Supersize my balls. We have Hastings' journeys with trans porn. There's an embarrassing story from me, and we even had a special guest appearance from my oft-mentioned housemate Sam. All that as we talked about She's All That on this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
Not vasculitis.
Vasculitis is a heart disease?
I think you made it up. I think it's what you get when you're too jacked.
I feel like...
I've been spending too much time doing that bench.
I think you're thinking of varicose veins.
Oh, I have them too.
Yeah, I've got a couple of...
You should see my left ankle. It looks fucked. Like, it looks like a monster bit.
Like a pregnant lady.
It looks really crazy.
On my left, calf, I have a really bad one. It looks like there's a dick under my skin.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember, going to the doctor when I was, 27 because I looked it up and I was like, big lumps on ankle. And it was, varicose veins, but varicose veins are for old women. So,
women get it when they're pregnant.
Yeah, so I went to the doctor and they were like, it's varicose veins. And I was
what
like,
causes
oh,
it? Has it been fat?
It's
Because I have them and I'm not having
It's
them.
pressure on your
pressure.
legs.
They said actually it was
Right.
from walking because I was too jacked at the time.
So if it's pressure from legs, it's probably because I've been spending too much stage time. Maybe. Just standing vertical, getting those hours up.
Just keep standing up. Get those 200 hours.
Malcolm Gladwell, bitch.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I got them pretty bad, and now my left ankle looks like the Thing kind of when the dog Have you guys seen the Thing?
No, I was thinking of the Fantastic Four person. No, you mean the
big
horror
rock
movie?
man.
Yeah, the Thing.
Yeah, my whole body is
That's why,
normal.
it kind of made sense.
Except
in context.
my left leg looks like a big rock.
You mean the
man.
horror movie? I haven't seen the horror movie.
Oh man,
I was
rules.
thinking of that Tool video where they're pulling them out. It looks real gross.
Man, isn't that dude a rapist now?
Yeah,
He got me too.
Keenard James Maynard.
Maynard James
it's-
Keenan.
It's there.
You're
Keenan-
close.
Keenan-
you got all the right
All right,
sounds
well,
there.
what about this character, Keenard James Maynard? And he's obsessed with his keys. he's
the worst fucking character I've ever fucking
he's
heard.
the guy from The Matrix that has all those keys.
The architect?
Yeah.
No, he's the key
No,
maker.
yeah, he's
the locksmith.
The little Asian man that gets shot.
I thought you were
in the
going
chest.
down the line of no, I'm not Keenan.
Yeah. My favorite Matrix character is the guy that gives that chick the cake that makes her cum. I think he's sick.
The Merovingian.
Yeah, dude, he rules.
The Merovingian is so funny because he's just you could tell the Wachowski starship.
Yeah.
I think is how they like to be called collectively now. I believe. No, I'm serious. That's not me doing an anti-trans thing.
Yeah.
I just remember when they came out, they were like, "It's no longer the Wachowski brothers. It's Wachowski starship."
What's wrong with sisters? What's wrong?
Well, one of them was a dude then, and one of them was a
Yeah, and
woman.
now they're both out, right?
Yeah, so now they're probably the Wachowski sisters. But that was just them sitting at Final Draft being like, what if it was just a sleazy French guy?
Man, it
being
really-
like, now you eat cum cake.
Man, it is crazy I did not get the casting call for that role. Probably being 14 didn't help.
I actually know some people in the big rave scene in The Matrix Reloaded.
Man.
One of the terrible scenes. Two of my...
I'm familiar with the scene.
Yeah. You're familiar with the culture as well.
But tonight we party. It's why are you partying in Zion? The world's about to end.
The Matrix.
What would
2
you do before the world was about to end? I'd party.
Man, I'd probably just go bust one in Trinity, which is what Neo did.
Yeah, and then she went blind or something. No, he went.
He went blind. He busted so
Yeah,
hard.
he busted so. He was like, "Oh, I guess this was what the priest warned me about all along."
It's like the prophecy foretold.
Hey, can we talk about this? I don't think I've ever seen you with this much facial hair.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
You grown it out while I've been away.
Yeah, a little
Andy,
bit.
I've been at Splendor in the Grass.
Yeah.
So I know it's only been a bit over a week, but it feels like
Yeah.
I haven't seen you guys. I would
Feels
say
like we haven't-
it's been
It's been some time.
it's been maybe
1 week
maybe
since you guys looked at me.
would you say that maybe it's been a while?
It could have been a while.
I would say it's been a predetermined amount of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to... And, please trust that while you've been gone, I've been as insecure and fishing for compliments about my facial hair as you would expect.
yeah,
It's-
here's
I absolutely believe it.
Here's a classic Andy. We were having drinks at Charlie Chan's the other day. Please
End of
sponsor us.
story.
Yeah. And Andy was going on a date, but he was so worried that the facial hair wouldn't appeal to the woman because she was a Tinder match that was like, oh, he's an emo guy. And then was like, oh, as an emo guy, I can't have facial hair because now it looks like the phase is over and I've just given up on everything.
Yeah, Charlie McCann had to give me an inspirational speech. Yeah, that's right. I'm name dropping Charles McCann. Charlie had to give me a little bit of a motivational speech being like, man, she knows you're 27. It's okay to be 27.
Yeah, it's okay to be passed over the hill.
I'm actually surprised you've got such full coverage.
Yeah, it took some time.
And then Andy went on his date, and then he missed me and Charlie getting drunk, being like, actually, he is pretty funny. Like, as a stand-up, like, maybe underrated. Like he's pretty bad, but, like, he's underrated.
Thank you. I want to know where all these ratings are coming from. My favorite one is...
me and Charlie have a website, www.ratemycomic.com.
There's a...
I've got a website. It's called www.ratemypoo.com.
There's a local comic and room runner who I probably shouldn't name, but she has a reputation for... There's like one female room runner in Sydney.
Saying it she makes this so hard to edit.
But yeah, she keeps me... Like, multiple times she's been to me like, you know, man, like, you're such a good guy. I don't... Like, whenever people say, like, fuck Hastings, I'm always like, no, he's a good dude. I'm like, who is saying, like, why? That's like, it's clearly, come on, man.
This really made it sound like you were going to blow up a spot, but really it was just you crying out for me and Rose to be like, no, you're all right, dude.
And guess what? Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that of you too.
Not all right.
Man, oh wait, how is
How did you just miss that reference?
You're not okay.
Oh yeah, you said the wrong word. That's why.
Yeah.
I also don't really like that song that much. Controversial opinion.
It's actually a great song.
I also named my hour after it. I probably shouldn't have named my hour after a song I didn't like that much.
Probably shouldn't have done an hour.
Probably shouldn't do comedy.
Tom Walker was talking about that up at Splendor, former guest.
What the
saying
fuck?
That,
Talking about you. Talking about Andy.
no, talking about like that My Chemical Romance song. Saying like when it came on like Channel V, it was like, man, punk is having a moment.
Who's saying it didn't, man?
I agree.
He said when Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous by Good Charlotte went on there, he was like, I can't believe they allowed this on air.
Yeah, Tom was a big emo kid.
This is gonna, like, society's gonna come down.
How was Splendor Rose?
It was fun hanging backstage.
Did you wear that Auntie Donna jumper while you were hanging out with Auntie Donna?
I did not. I consciously I packed it and then realized they were there and said, well, I'm not going to wear that. But no, they're all real good dudes. I would happily.
Any other names you want to drop real quick?
Who are we going to...
I was hanging out with a little guy, a Kendrick Lamer.
Get him on the pod, dude.
Kendrick Lamer.
Did you meet any musicians?
No, we were backstage with Henry Rollins for a bit, but it was in a huge circle and I wasn't going to go up and be like, hey, I actually don't really know Black Flag that well.
Henry Rollins. It sounds terrible. I wouldn't want to hang out with that dude at all.
He was in this thing in the forum. It was like a chat on consent after the Me Too era.
So fun for a music festival.
Wait, he was doing a chat on consent?
Well, he was part of like a big panel. It had like Tracy Spicer and Stella Donnelly and other people, but it was just very funny.
Man, I know when I'm out of my gourd on Ding Dogs, I just want to go watch Henry Rollins talk about consent with Tracy Spicer.
It wasn't about midday, but we walked through and like, I don't know if this was the case the whole time, but at least when we walked through, they asked a question and then just immediately deferred to the one man on the panel that was him.
Man, I'd love to watch that panel because Henry Rollins was on Sons of Anarchy and he like played a guy that gang raped Katie Seagal's character. So that's the whole time I just be like, but what about in Sons, bro? When you rape that chick, and he'd be like, that's not real.
Man, I love that, like, in all of Henry Rollins' like 30, 40-year body of work that he has, you're like, yeah, man, his cameo in Sons of Anarchy, that's the highlight for me.
That'd be so fun to just sit down with him and do a long-form interview where you just discuss Sons of Anarchy Season 2.
Yeah. Wow.
So give us some guys. Who can we shit on
to
come on. Satisfy our open mic listener quotient that we have?
Like at Splendor.
Yeah. Let's shit on someone. How was Steph? Pretty bad, I guess.
No, Steph, former guest Steph Broadridge, quite funnily though, on the
Bet you she felt pretty old.
on the
An old fishwife in a tent.
Man, I felt old. I've never seen so many butts in my life. It was great, but it was just fishnets and butts the whole time.
It's because you're not living this guy's life.
But no,
Fishnets and Butts is the title of Andy's mixtape that's coming out next year.
we woke up on the first morning and like Steph came over to our tent and told us that she'd booked a fucking like motel room in Byron for a night.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I can't handle
That is
being in the tent here.
An incredibly Steph Broadbridge move.
I'd do it, dude. I'd be like glamping, baby.
I'd be down there in the mud, dude.
Yeah, of course you would.
Down there
It's
in
a
the mud.
It's a metaphorical thing for you. Almost.
Yeah. I don't need to keep clean.
Yeah, down there in the mud for you means listening to Back in the Mud by Bubba Sparks while having unprotected sex at Splendor in the Grass.
You know, homie likes to do it raw.
Homie likes to hit it.
We did have a funny moment because when we walked in there, they gave me the wrong wristband. I was supposed to have this like gold artist thing, but they just gave me the like standard one. And we had to go.
Yeah, what a mistake they made.
End of story. Can you believe it?
No, but we went up to the like artist bar at the top of the hill thing, and we tried to walk in, and like Beck showed her thing and went in. Former guest Beck Charwood, and then I showed mine. The guy was like, "This is the wrong wristband," and she turned around and she's like, "She's my +1," and the guy goes, "She?" and she just goes, "She's trans," and then he just went, "Go through."
Have 40 wristbands.
He just totally panicked.
Life hacks with Rose Piper. Say you're trans, you'll get away with anything.
If
Yeah.
McDonald's ever fucks up your order, go straight to the front. Be like, "Yo, I'm trans."
Get Ronald on the line.
The idea that
you just
after
committed
that, they
transphobia.
gave you Kendrick Lamar's backstage pass, and they're like, "All right, you've got to go on, do a set."
Man, how good's Kendrick Lamar though? Kung Fu Kenny, dude. Love that shit.
I caught about the last half hour.
You never heard him be
of
called that?
No,
He like spends a whole album calling himself that.
Which one?
What was the one before Damn?
To Pimp a Butterfly.
It must have been Damn then, because it definitely wasn't To Pimp a Butterfly
Yeah.
where he did it. Kung Fu Kenny, dude.
To Pimp a Butterfly is so dance and wordy and so full of race stuff. To have a guy pop up and be like, "Yo, I'm Kung Fu Kenny."
That's
You'd be
literally
like-
what he does on Damn. That's
You'd
like
be
that's
like,
what he's
"Alright."
doing.
Bitch, be humble.
I
Okay?
didn't actually like To Pimp a Butterfly that much because I don't like funk that much, but it made me feel racist.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I was like, oh, am I a racist?
I totally remember walking down the street jamming out to it. And I was just like,
Who the fuck are you to say you don't like funk that much? The guy who sat on the sound desk at Powerbomb all night and played nothing but Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, that's white funk, so that's...
yeah. It's not an
I'm also a big Jamiroquai fan.
Hey man, canned heat fucking rips.
You're going deeper underground, baby.
I do think it's like privately funny to myself that Jamie Kirk is like JK for short. I think that's kind of funny. I want you to start wearing funny hats.
I do wear... No, I couldn't wear a funny.
No, that's just your bad hair.
I don't think I've ever,
No, that's not a funny hat. It's thick and luscious.
I don't think
Oh,
I've ever
buddy.
seen you
It's
wear a
Actually
hat.
it's looking pretty... I'm not a hat guy, man. I've tried... I really wanted to... You know when that new
I'm wearing a hat
Radical
right
song
now.
came out, Get What You Give?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the start of like the bucket hat explosion. for,
Hell
like,
yeah.
13-year-olds, and I was
And
so
it took Schoolboy Q to bring it back.
yeah.
Man.
Well, because Schoolboy J couldn't make it work. All right, guys, welcome to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All.
Schoolboy J, dude. That
yeah,
rules. That's
can that
pretty
be
good.
my new name?
Yeah, dude.
Just say the
Changing your
N-word
name
with
in my
impunity.
I'm changing your name in my phone right now.
Cool.
Hey, speaking of names in phones, your nickname in my phone is
Still butt cream,
It's
right?
still butt cream.
Butt cream.
Why is it butt cream again?
Oh,
Well,
man.
maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
You do some shit with some butt cream?
Okay.
Why are you called butt cream in my phone,
Okay,
Andy?
I want to be clear about this on the pod. This phase of my life is well and truly over.
It's so funny that you disown butt cream as a phase, but not your overall aesthetic. That phase of my life is over, but
Okay.
fucking My Chemical Romance still hold up.
Okay, so there was a period of my life where I was quite fixated on the cleanliness of my butt. Right?
Shouldn't that be your whole life?
No.
No, I'm well past that.
No. Like fixated, like it was a problem. Like it was like I was getting like quite like pretty bad like skin irritation from it. It was like quite uncomfortable. So what I found is
Were you fingering your butt?
like sometimes like to try and like I was like obsessed with like making sure and like so I was just massively over wiping and massively.
How do you wipe? Front to back, back to front?
You can't wipe back to front if you
No,
got
that's
dick
disgusting.
and balls.
You can wipe
If
either.
you're a woman, you could.
You can't
but
wipe-
even then,
no,
it's
you
still...
can't wipe back to front because then you're just putting shit on your puss.
Please
true.
trust that I'm an expert on this. I was obsessed with this. You can wipe either way, Jamie.
Do you fold or scrunch?
Both. I've every method there is. I've done.
Scrunching.
But what
is
do you do
not
now?
effective.
What do I do now?
Yeah, I am staunchly against scrunching.
Me too. I think
These
it's
days
disgusting.
I fold.
Yeah, folding
Yeah,
is the
good.
only way to go.
But before-
folding, you get like your index finger, so like
Yeah,
when
and
you
you
fold
get
and
up
you do,
in
do a little
there.
dig.
You get up in there.
Very familiar with all these moves. So I was fixated. So this is what I'm saying is I would do every method possible all at once.
Hey, if there ain't
Get
blood, you're not doing it
I'd be going
right.
back to front. I'd be going front to back. I would like side to side was a popular one for me for a minute
How
there.
the fuck do you do side to side?
Side to side is one you do it. This is what I'm saying. I'd get to the end of the process and like there would be nothing but blood,
And you're
I'd
sitting
be like
down-
still not clean enough.
You're sitting down or standing
Yeah,
up?
because there was blood all over it by that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd be
You'd
like, what if
rubbed
there's,
it
like,
raw.
What if? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really fucked myself up, and I would like this went on for years. Like,
Do you use baby wipes too?
I tried that. Baby wipes are ineffective. So okay, I can. So this I've thought of every angle.
Not for a body that battered.
So
Baby wipes also probably not ineffective, like, you know, because you use them on a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flushable baby wipes.
baby
are
wipes,
good.
I think.
That's
So,
it.
okay, baby wipes probably are actually.
Hey,
fine.
none of them are actually flushable.
I was
No,
convinced.
some of them are.
I was
No,
apparently
even if
not.
they tell you.
So I was convinced baby wipes are bad because the residue from the baby wipes would irritate me further. Because it was just raw skin. It was just like it was an open wound. I was
What the
applying
fuck
to.
are you doing to
This
your
is the thing.
butt?
I was going crazy. It was like I was fucking insane about it. Like
I can't believe we've been best friends in the entire world. I haven't heard
because by the time we became
what
friends,
you've done to your
I
butt.
can't believe you didn't know about butt cream.
yeah,
No.
the entire
We were
time we've been
fixated on this for years.
The entire time
As
we've
long
been
as he
friends,
was
I've been,
fixated
I've
on
been,
his own
I've been
butt.
out of this phase. So I was fixated, and what I found is the most effective and also like what worked really well for me is I would get like
Butt cream.
yeah, like
That's the whole story.
I'm trying to think of the word like nappy rash cream.
Yeah, right.
And what I would do is then I would do a cursory wipe to get like the main, like, you know, what probably where most people would stop, right? Then I would do an additional layer of butt cream. Then I would wipe that off. And what I would find, and this is what convinced me it was a good idea, is that once applied and then wiped off the butt cream, there'd be more like shit basically in the butt cream.
Because you were like coaxing it out.
maybe
Yeah,
but that
if-
means it was still in
If
me.
you reach your hand halfway
No, no.
up your ass and pull
The
out
butt cream-
shit, there's gonna be
the
shit.
butt cream wasn't going up my butt. The butt cream was going around my butt.
Right.
Yeah, but if you were side to siding it, it was
This
probably
was-
just like on the cheek.
The side to side was pre butt cream. This is when I was like just destroying. So
How many fingers were you sticking up there when you were
No,
destroying it by
it's
wiping?
it was like the
No, by wiping methods. Like you getting two in there, or you just getting one?
I would rarely penetrate myself while wiping.
How seriously did you look into getting a bidet?
Don't even.
Fucking, I will interrupt right now. It is my goal in life when I own a house
To have bidet money.
No, to have just one of those Japanese toilets.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
yeah. That's the dream.
I've never experienced one of them, but it also is my
They
goal.
fucking rule so hard. So many times where like I've just been in a hotel room and my wife's been in the next room and she can just hear me be like,
Yeah, that rules, man.
and she's just like, "Are you using the bidet again?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you even take a shit?" And I'm like, "No." I just like the sensation of things going in my butt. And she was like, "Ooh, red flag."
I'm like 2
This
weeks.
is how you choose to bring this up with me?
I'm like 2 weeks off.
I'm gay. I like water dicks.
I'm like 2 weeks off buying an attachment for my bathroom sink tap. That like you can get like a hose attachment that's like a makeshift bidet.
Yeah, well, I do that with my shower head.
Yeah.
Give myself a
Yeah,
once
yeah, yeah.
over.
This is what I do. So this is the end of this whole thing is that now I just like, you know, jump in the shower for a second, but just one part of my body's
But
in the
what got you over it?
shower.
Was it our... I was going to say it was our endless teasing. And
No,
calling
God,
you
no.
butt
I was so,
cream.
anyway. The reason it came up is I would use this butt cream, and I was convinced that this butt cream was the way to live. And I'd still
like
maintain I was doing a good job, but it just turns out water does a better job than anything. And that way you can like really like minimize the wiping, because the wiping is what it causes irritation. But anyway, so the first time we ever did a trip to Adelaide, 2014 Adelaide Fringe, We Ain't Scared of You, featuring Daniel Muggleton, Samuel Kettler, Aneeth Mukherjee, FKA Reese Piper, and Andrew Hastings.
FKA Twigs.
We were
Reese
all-
Piper.
Reese Piper had his final ever gig at Splendor.
Oh, you went up as Reese.
Well, I didn't take any female clothes because it was too hard to like shave and everything.
Clothes actually
Even though,
aren't gendered, Rose.
yeah, but like
Performative.
I had like a fucking
yes.
face full of beard.
I obviously know what you're fucking saying.
I actually could have done it though. There was like makeup tents and stuff there. You could have gone and got shit done.
I'm
at.
surprised you didn't just fucking move in.
Were there butt cream tents?
What, like they could have.
Anyway, I took the butt cream
Yeah,
to
they
Adelaide.
hang on. Let me take that again. Say it.
Were there butt cream tents?
Yeah, it was called My Tent.
Because I come in your butt. Yeah, I do jokes and then I explain them.
Anyway,
Spat beer.
yeah, I gurgled it when I was fucking. Anyway,
Speaking of come sort of near my butt, I have a story after this.
Yeah, cool.
well, I'm into that. Anyway, so we all lived in this fucking 1-bedroom tiny share, like cottage that we shared between 5 of us.
Yeah.
And I was roasted mercilessly for bringing my own butt cream.
Because you got there later,
How big
and
was
I
the tub?
warned everybody that it was going to happen, and they
yeah, we had discussed
wondered
it.
about it for 2 days, and then as soon as you got there, we went to get Hungry Jacks, and the first thing we said,
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Tell us
It was
about
like
the butt
it was like an
cream."
hour and a half in Hungry Jack with Muggleton really pushing me for information. Anyway, that's the story of my own butt cream in Rose's phone.
And now your butt's fine.
My butt's great now.
Let me see that asshole.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Let me wipe that
Yeah,
ass.
man. A few times I've like spoken to a vet about this, and she's like, "Give me a look," and I'm like, "All right."
Does a vet wipe your ass?
No, what the fuck?
You're like, mommy.
Baby need wipe. No, not at all.
It's hard being an adult.
But when I told her about this, she was like, "All right, give me a look at what you're dealing with over here." So I
Spread 'em.
I showed her my butthole, and she was like, "Yeah, it's in pretty good shape." And she does not compliment me easily.
It's easier for her to talk about your butthole than your personality.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I've the story for like post Splendor, which I'm regretting bringing up now because my housemate's standing in the kitchen.
Hell
We
yes.
can fan for a
Hell
second if you want.
Hell
No.
yes.
But because I feel like this is appropriate to tell on this podcast
Yes.
because we've discussed this thing before.
Yeah.
I got home, went through the arduous task of like unpacking the car or whatever. Finally got showered. I changed the sheets on my bed so I could get into like a nice bed or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I lied in bed and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch She's All That. I fell asleep watching She's All That. And then I woke up because I had a wet dream.
Ah. You're a 28-year-old. No,
29-year-old.
You're a 29-year-old woman.
Yeah. And yet that happened.
Why the
And
fuck
So
are you?
fun.
that's why I'm glad I'm a woman
Is this-
because that's not going to happen anymore.
Is that like an unexpected like upside of when you start the like hormone treatment?
Yes,
You'll stop
that's gonna
having
go
fucking
away.
You know, I've never had one.
Really?
I've never
It's
had a-
been
Yeah,
we've
years.
talked about
It's
this
been
on the
so
podcast
long.
before.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh baby.
Also, if
would-
not, I was
would
going to call the doctor and be like, "Can you leave that feature in?"
if that didn't come up on mic, my housemate just said it still happens as a woman. By
That's
the way,
true. I understand that true.
but
There's
maybe
less mess.
Yeah, maybe less messy. But I just put clean sheets on the bed. I'm like, fuck.
What'd you dream about, Freddie Prinze?
I don't even know.
No.
That was Paul Walker.
Yeah, man, my man looking real hot. in
Man,
that
I
movie.
live my life 400 meters, what is it, quarter mile at a time?
That's
in-
Vin
And
Jeez.
were you putting your hand
Same
up because
movie.
you want to speak again? Yeah, hit
You can
us.
grab this
Do you,
mic
do you want
if
to come
you
and get on
Yeah,
mic?
do you want to come and quickly say something on microphone?
Hit this shit.
Introducing, this is my housemate Sam.
Take
Everyone,
a hit off this shit.
Hi.
Hi, Sam.
what's up?
Well, I met a new friend in Aussie and I like stayed at her house and it was like the first time she like really met me and she had to wake me up in the middle of the night because I was sleep masturbating.
Hell yeah!
That
Hell
is
yeah.
so
Hell
on
yeah.
brand. For
Oh,
this
fantastic. Thank you for that addition. And just a reminder that that's now on the internet forever.
podcast. Guys, welcome to the world. Just I didn't get to do the full introduction before. It's a
Yeah,
podcast
that's-
about teen sex comedies. We've already done 23 fucking minutes of this.
That might be
bullshit.
our best stretch yet.
We did reference Freddie Prinze Jr., which makes it not quite a clean streak.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
means
Speaking of clean streaks, my underwear, bulletproof.
it's so good. We don't.
Bulletproof. That must mean it's crusty in some way.
No, Bulletproof means that Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans are in there trading barbs. You guys seen Bulletproof?
I actually
Oh my
love
God,
that
just
movie.
Introduce the fucking movie.
I was just gonna say it's so good we don't have like actual fans yet who are like on iTunes being like they don't talk about the movie.
Man.
What's butt cream?
I just told you what it is.
Yeah, we're talking about She's All That. She's All That with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Lee Cook.
Or read the whole start of the plot.
Wikipedia thing?
Yeah, because the last sentence is a funny little nugget.
Okay, I'll do that.
In the modern era.
Speaking of funny little nuggets, my underwear is
Oh,
bulletproof.
Like Damon Wayans, Adam Sandler. She's all that. All right, here we go. It's a 1999 American teen romantic comedy film directed by Robert Iscove and starring Freddie Prinze Jr., Rachel Lee Cook, Paul Walker, and Matthew Lillard. It's a modern adaptation of George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion and George Cukor's 1960 film My Fair Lady. It was one of the most popular...
Oh, that explains that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's a pretty straight Pygmalion thing. You never do it. High School Dropout or whatever.
I did theatre at uni.
Beauty School Dropout. It was one of the most popular teen films of the late 1990s and reached number 1 at the box office in its first week of release. In April 2015, it was announced that the film will be remade by the Weinstein Company. I feel like this is going to
I think that might have been put on the shelf.
Yeah, that first script rewrite. Where it's like,
No, honey, you're all that.
they come up in this hotel room.
I don't want to ruin our friendship.
All right,
That's what
guys.
he said, apparently.
Box budge on this bad boy was 10 million. You guys care to guess the box office?
100.
Rose?
It was one of the biggest, they say, so 99, 110.
Okay, well then I guess if you do Prices Right rules, that Rose wins because it was 103 million. Although Andy was technically closer.
Fuck me.
I personally, I think who's closer wins.
Oh, okay. Well then Andy wins.
Yeah, also, we're dealing in hundreds of millions. And we were 10 million of... I think we were both pretty spot on.
Yeah, you won.
I'm a very competitive person, particularly with you. And this is one thing I'm like, I don't think we need to fight over this one.
This movie was like insanely popular when you guys were growing up, right? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of girls in my high school thought this movie was
This is one of my sister's favorites for sure.
Not so much for me. 10 Things I Hate About You pretty much usurped it, I think, for my group. I didn't even know this movie existed until I saw Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, really?
Didn't even know about it.
Okay.
I saw it soon after seeing Not Another Teen Movie, but
Cool.
was not aware
Well, do we
of it.
want to go around the horn and say what we thought about it before we get into just stories
sure.
about butt cream and stuff again?
Let's do it.
All right,
Sure.
let's start with Rose. What'd you think of this movie?
Like, kind of no good. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like fine. I enjoyed a lot of the casting, a lot of the cameos, like just from like a like in like kind of like a meta sense of it, like being like, oh, that's the guy from whatever. But no, it was a pretty nothing movie. Like it was pretty whatever.
It was
Very by the numbers.
It was kind of wholly inconsequential.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It made me feel nothing.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that this movie was so well liked by so many people, which I guess just kind of has to be Freddie Prinze Jr. and Paul Walker are so hot. That's
Man,
it, right?
I don't think Freddie Prinze
I'm getting
Jr.
a
's hot.
thumbs up from
Hey,
your roommate,
give-
so that's all.
I don't think Freddie Prinze Jr. is hot. Paul Walker, hell yeah, my dude.
Man, Freddie
Hey, you
Prinze-
got to give Rachel Lee Cook a shout.
Dang,
She's
homie.
beautiful.
Well, Rachel Lee Cook, in a little bit of trivia, also plays Tifa in Final Fantasy VII Expanded Universe, which makes her way hotter than just what she
Wait,
is.
sorry,
in
is there
shit
a
like
film adaptation or
Advent Children. It's the sequel to Final Fantasy VII. It was released as a computer animated film. And she
Fuck, you'd be
also-
having a field day in this movie. Buffy, Final
Wait,
Fantasy.
was that the one that got the cinematic release that was like big? Because I remember I saw like trailers for a Final Fantasy movie.
Well, there are three. All right, dog. Let me break it down. There are 3 Final Fantasy movies.
Right.
There's The Spirits Within, which was like their attempt at making a Final Fantasy movie not related to the games that bankrupted the developers.
Was it like a big budget one?
Yeah, it was
That
huge.
might have been the
that
one
was
that
like
I'm
around
thinking of.
1999, 2001.
That tracks. That's
bankrupted the entire studio. Then there was the sequel to Final Fantasy VII, which was released on DVD and screened at like the Venice Film Festival, and that was pretty successful. And then last 2 or 3 years ago now, there was Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15, which was a prequel to Final Fantasy 15, which got released in cinemas because I saw it in a goddamn dandy.
And you just got your virginity back.
No, it's been there the whole time.
One day your wife will let you smash.
Yeah,
Can we
one
talk about
day.
some of these cameos?
Man, wild
Yes,
shit.
we can.
Campus DJ Usher,
Man,
credited
huge.
as Usher Raymond.
Well, that is his name.
Also, Lil Kim.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lil Kim's in it.
When was Lil Kim in it? I saw that in the opening credits.
She was one of
Gabrielle Union's friends.
one of the black friends.
Oh, damn.
I said the more woke take on that, one of Gabrielle Union's friends.
I wanted to put it in terms that he could understand.
Yeah, one of the urban friends.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, just
just like one shot.
Yeah.
uncredited as girl in. We're just looking at Jamie's notes here, all caps. Oh my God, it's Buffy. Who you must hate Freddie Prinze Jr. because he's stolen your Buffy away from you.
Well, here's the thing about Freddie Prinze Jr.
And then went off into obscurity.
Well, no, here's the thing about Freddie Prinze Jr., guys.
I mean, if you're calling Fred from Scooby-Doo obscurity, sure.
Well, you know, that was
Freddie Prinze Jr. is like living the nerd's dream because...
Just say Jamie Kirk's, man.
Okay, he's living my dream. Well, because he was born in a hot body with a photogenic face, but he is, by all accounts, the biggest weeb you'll ever meet. Like, he wrote for WWE. You know that,
I know
right?
he did.
So,
Yeah.
he did that for, 2 years. He's also real into, tabletop board games and video games. He voiced Iron Bull in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Really?
Because we all know what that is.
I know it's a game.
It's a
I know it's a
game.
JRPG, right?
No, it's a Western RPG. Made by the guys who make Mass Effect. He was also in Mass Effect 3. So he's just like this nerd.
RPG for role-playing games.
Yeah.
For those of you...
There's no way that no one doesn't, whatever.
I
mean,
think
maybe
that,
they don't.
I think
What the
that
fuck do I-
80 open mic comedians that listen to this know what a role-playing game is.
And the
But
distinction between a RPG and a JRPG.
yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know what that is.
Japanese
Right.
RPG.
That's a style.
It's like a better version. But
All right, cunt.
but he's doing that. He's into WWE. He gets to
Nothing wrong with that.
He gets to fuck and marry Buffy, who was also Daphne from Scooby-Doo. And now he's just
Damn.
kind of retired from acting and makes his job doing voiceover for video games and stuff.
Yeah,
That-
almost the whole Scooby-Doo crew in this movie. Matthew Lillard was Shaggy.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. really had some sway.
And
on
also,
that.
at times during the movie, Rachel Lee Cook looks like Velma.
Yeah, I
she didn't
guess.
play her, but she looks like her.
I mean, Rachel Lee Cook is so hot immediately in that movie.
yeah, even
Yeah.
before the makeover.
yeah,
Amy kept being like, oh, her aesthetic is what I want to dress like before she became hot. And I was like, you're a fucking loser.
No, I get it. So
I challenged you to call your wife a dork on
No,
the
I
podcast,
doubled down.
and you went way worse.
She is a dork, though.
I almost exclusively pursue women who look like pre-makeover Rachel.
What?
Man.
That's not accurate at all.
No, that's pretty.
You chase girls that look like anime characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, I got a few
she
types.
does not look like that.
One of my types is weird nerdy art girl, and oh boy, I'm
Weird
right
nerdy
into-
art girl is my only type.
Man, I think we're talking different weird nerdy art girls.
I like-
Actually, maybe not.
my type is like a Pamela Anderson from Baywatch. You know?
Man, Rachel Lee Cook pre and post makeover. Damn, homie.
The thing with Rachel Lee Cook pre-makeover is that she is predicted kind of the performative woke movement where someone would be like, hey man, do you want to go get a latte or something? And they'd say, oh well, the children in Mogadishu can't get lattes, so kind of fuck you and your latte and fuck everything. And you're like,
Cool.
all right, I get it. You're a rich person from California. Your dad cleans pools but still owns a mansion for some reason.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Also, am I wrong? Is her mate in this Fulton from the Mighty Ducks? You know, one of
Yes.
the Bash
Never
Brothers?
seen the
Yeah. Also,
What?
Yeah,
also,
All right, we're
I've never
watching
seen
them
that.
for the-
I've never seen the Mighty Ducks either.
Oh my God, we got to watch them for the pod, even though they are so far from teen sex comedies.
We can inject a little bit of adult themes into
They're
them.
quintessential.
Man, more like Mighty Fucks.
All right, let's beat it
I've
out.
had
Mighty
some.
Fucks.
Fucks fly together. That's a reference, right?
That is.
Yeah.
I only know it from the Smith Street Band.
do the 5 knuckle shuffle puck. That's something, right?
It's just called a knuckle puck.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5.
But in this one, he's jerking off onto the puck.
Oh God!
And then you take a shot on goal, but the goal's a pussy.
Yes. Mighty Fucks coming to a cinema near you.
One of those adult porno
2022.
cinemas.
I would love adult porno cinemas don't exist here, right?
I don't think so.
The kind of one that
If they did, I'd know about
yeah,
it.
the kind of one that Pee Wee Herman got busted in. That'd be so fun to Like
Man, if you're the cop making that arrest, you're making a Pee-wee joke, right?
yeah.
You're doing that if you catch it.
That was a Bloodhound Gang lyric, like Pee Wee
fine.
Herman, sperm and I can see the future in the palm of my hand.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Came in his hand.
Man, so cameos as well. There are 3 actors from The West Wing in this film. Jewel Hill, who plays the black friend.
Yeah, from Psych.
A woman who's the actress's name I can't remember. She's only in
Now who's racist?
She's only
Black
in one episode of The West Wing, but she also plays Jewel Hill's love interest in that as well. The black girlfriend is
I believe
also
it's
in The West
pronounced
Wing.
Dule Hill.
Man, whatever.
Not like Jewel Hill.
Okay, it's Charlie from The West Wing.
Yeah, okay.
That's his name. All right. And then also Tim Matheson, who's in every movie we've seen, it seems.
Yeah.
He plays Freddie Prinze Jr.'s father, and he also plays Vice President John Hoynes. He also plays Otter from Animal House, and he plays Van Wilder's father. Yeah, that's my West Wing.
I feel like the name John Hoynes has come up too much in this.
Because he's
podcast.
John Hoynes. He's Vice President John Hoynes.
What does John Hoynes do in the West?
He's the Vice President.
Does he like slay a vampire or anything?
He cheats on his wife a lot. That's his big thing. He gets busted in a sex scandal.
Oh, so that's kind of related to
dog.
Buffy because Joss Whedon did
Yeah,
that.
man. Chandler from Friends is the one who catches him.
Oh man, Chandler from Friends rules. I used to love Chandler from Friends when I was growing up.
Early Chandler, I will say, is still great.
But early Chandler kind of sucks. Like I remember being
There's
13.
a fucking comic about Chandler on the wall
I
over
remember
there.
being 13 being like, Chandler is what I want to be. And then you're just like, kind of fucking loser.
Yeah. Yeah, and look how we turned out.
Yeah, now I'm more of a Joey with Ross physique.
I like Ross, dude.
Yeah,
Hey.
Ross is clearly the best friend.
No,
Yes.
I refuse
Ross?
to believe it.
Ross is the funniest friend, but he's
Yeah.
very flawed. But that's good. We can have flawed characters.
He's the funniest one to watch, I think. Especially when in the later seasons they just say, he's going to be crazy.
Do you worry that today's political climate is lowering, not lowering, but prohibiting people from creating flawed protagonists?
No.
I do.
Really? Why?
Because of that fucking article that came out that says The Simpsons sucked because Homer's mean.
Oh, because that stupid person watched fucking 10 episodes of The
they were good
Simpsons.
episodes.
Yeah, but she's an idiot. She was going on about how there were no stories for Marge. And like, yeah, because some dude picked out 10 episodes featuring Homer.
Marge is the best Simpson. Anyway, it doesn't.
No, Marge is not.
Marge is
Marge
the
is-
best
That's
Simpson.
such a
Marge is so
performative.
far
Marge
one
is,
of the
no,
best
fuck
That's
you.
Simpsons.
such
Marge
a
is the best Simpson.
performative woke
Were
tale.
you guys like Homer?
Yes,
Homer
it's
is
clearly
the best.
Homer.
Homer is a
by far.
dumpster fire. Didn't you read the article?
No, I didn't
Marge
read the
rules.
I didn't
fucking
realize
article.
we had special guest Tom Sanderson on the podcast.
Marge was Som Tanderson.
Oh, sorry.
Marge rules,
I dead
dude.
named
I think
him.
we're well past the Spoonerism.
And I think people have cracked our ingenious code.
All right. Because
Because all the people that listen to this podcast know him.
Yeah.
Marge has that sick potato joke. Like, the problem is she doesn't get
Marge
it.
has 1 6 potato.
No. Hear me out. Marge, the reason
Okay, get
Marge
beer.
isn't the best is because she doesn't get... Can you get me a beer as well?
Did
Yeah.
you put them in my fridge?
Yeah.
Can you get me one, please?
Marge doesn't get enough screen time because the writers don't like her. But when they do use her, she's so funny.
Marge doesn't get enough dick.
Homer's not giving it to her right like I would.
I believe they call it snuggling.
Yeah. Man, name a Marge episode that is bad. Do you know what I mean? Like in the good period.
But you name an episode that's bad in the good period.
Yeah, fair point. But Marge's hit right.
The Marge episodes are not highlights.
Man, I love 'em.
Marge Goes to Jail is
Marge Goes to Jail's incredible.
Yeah, because they're all incredible,
it's-
but it's
in
not
the,
that
it's
good.
in the peak period of the best TV show
Yeah.
ever made. All right, let's not talk too much about The Simpsons because it's been done.
We
but-
shouldn't do that. What I'm gonna bring up is this movie is it's a bit of a mess, and you can totally see why they picked it as the framework for not another teen movie.
Well, it's such a quintessential. It's like the quintessential teen movie, structurally and
But
archetypes wise.
because there's so many her name Lainey Boggs.
Yeah.
that sounds like they've reversed it, like Janie Briggs in.
another teen.
I'll just get my own one out of the fridge. Yeah, like Janie Briggs in Not Another Teen Movie sounds like what her name should be in the actual movie.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Laney Boggs is the fucking
the
parody
name
version.
sounds fucking.
They've given her a
more
normal name.
I think I read about it in Wikipedia. I think Laney Boggs is named after two literary or film characters that the writers liked. That's
Right.
why they called
Okay,
it that.
well then pick one that isn't Boggs.
or just like,
Yeah, well,
they were
Laney
just a big
Boggs is
baseball
also-
fan and loved Wade Boggs.
Yeah, Laney Boggs is also just the action of Laney taking a shit. Just-
Yeah.
yeah, Laney Boggs right now.
We just sold some tickets to Waywards.
Oh, sick.
Um,
Do you guys think that we were just talking about the actual movie, right? Not butt cream or Marge getting
Yeah.
dick.
Yes.
Do you guys think that the ending makes no sense?
Yeah, it makes no sense
Because
at all.
it's so-
he doesn't get any redemption.
Well, it's so weird because, well, very first up, my first observation was we're supposed to root for a guy with a custom number plate that says Mr. Prez? No. At least
Man.
be like Pussy Slayer 69 or something.
I
Yeah.
think their way
God, I
to
can't
like.
wait to drive.
I think their way to say that like you should root for the jock is that he's also smart.
Yeah, that's the
Like-
Yeah.
that's also one of the funniest things in the movie where I guess earlier in the movie he does that stupid hacky sack improv piece where he's
Yeah.
talking about pressure, but later he has the most contrived.
Yeah, it must be so hard to be perfect.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Well,
cunt.
My wife pointed this out where she said, "Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr. literally doesn't have a problem in the film because there's a fight later on with his dad where his dad's like, when are you going to accept Dartmouth?" And he's like, "I'm not you, Dad. I've also got offers from Yale and Harvard." And then his dad's like, "Yeah, I guess you're right, son. You can choose whatever you want." And he's like, "Oh," and you're just like, that is not a problem. You have
His biggest problem is that the nerd won't fuck him.
yeah,
Like, that's
and he has too many colleges to choose from that his parents can all afford as well.
But maybe they do it by just making him surround himself by people who are worse. Like Paul Walker's character, pretty reprehensible. You know, I'm glad he's dead.
Lived his life too many quarter miles at a time, if you know what I mean.
he lived his life a little too fast and not furiously enough.
Yeah, Tokyo drifted right into that pole.
No, Paul Walker.
Yes.
R.I.P.
And like what? Like,
R.I.P. Lil Peep. R.I.P. Robin Williams. R.I.P. Paul Walker.
R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
R.I.P. Harris Whittles.
No, that
Come
one
on,
I'm actually
Jamie.
sad about.
I'm actually sad about Lil Peep.
Oh god.
Can we not be sad about Little Peep in this climate?
I can be sad about Lil Peep.
Yeah.
I can.
R.I.P. XXX Tentacion.
You're not allowed to be
Oh,
sad
God.
about that one.
What are you talking about?
He bashed a pregnant woman.
Yeah, he was like a
He was like a
reprehensible
really
human,
bad dude.
Yeah, but he made art.
Yeah, I guess.
But
which gets you off the hook.
His
Yeah.
biggest song actually has very problematic lyrics.
I have never listened to any.
But
of
the
this.
It's actually
ending-
not bad.
The ending of this movie, I think, is crazy. Let me break it down for you, ladies and fellas.
Break it down. I'm going to the fridge.
Okay. So basically, he is forced to confess about the bet, which is fine. There's dramatic tension coming
Yeah, yeah,
towards
yeah.
like the 3/4 mark of the
Yeah,
script.
yeah. I've seen 10 things I hate about you. Yeah.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, Paul Walker is interested in Lainey. She does not see right through it immediately.
yeah.
And then he kind of shows up in a nice gesture move and is like, "Yeah, I still want to go with you." But then he
Yeah, like a real cunning, devious, evil guy.
And then he brags to everyone
That's my
about
move, dude.
Yeah. Hastings' favorite move is
Hanging out in public bathrooms telling strangers that I'm about to smash.
Hastings' favorite move is jingling around hotel keys, being like, "Power bombs ended. You know, we're going to the fucking Novotel right now."
It's so real. It's so fucking real.
What's your preferred hotel chain?
You're more of a
Smash?
The
Sofitel.
one she pays for.
So yeah,
Quest Apartments.
so
Man, I've done them all, dude. Sunrise Lodge on King Street in Newtown. Hell yeah, my dude. I was there last Friday.
Oh god.
there's a joke to be made about lodging something there, but that's not work.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah,
Talk about the end of the movie.
So Paul Walker then brags to everyone about how he's gonna fuck Rachel Lee Cook. The Foggy Nelson from Daredevil hears it, and at this point, Freddie Prinze Jr. and his ex-girlfriend get picked for prom king and queen, and she hates Freddie Prinze Jr. at this moment.
Yes.
And so Freddie's like doing his like sort of redemptive speech, but she leaves about a minute into it, so doesn't hear anything about how he's learned anything. Goes off with Paul Walker. Then Foggy Nelson tells Freddie Prinze Jr., all right, this is what's going to happen. Freddie drives around for a while in this Jeep calling hotels, gets nothing. And then Rachel Lee Cook comes home and says to her dad, like, I was a bust. I had to use my little rape horn on this guy. And they're like, oh, that's pretty cool because look who's here, Freddie Prinze Jr., who they had
the bar is so low, all you have to do is not attempt rape.
Yeah, but who literally, the last interaction Kieran Culkin had with him was to say, stop calling asshole.
Yeah.
Now they've sat down in this off-screen bit of business where I don't know what Freddie Prinze Jr. would have said. To be like, yeah, I know I'm the biggest piece of shit, but at least I'm not raping your daughter right now.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah.
And then they go outside and dance, and then Rachel Lee Cook says, I feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
Yeah. Didn't that movie come out like a year earlier?
No, it came out like...
It's like way older than
came
that.
out like
Pretty Woman like mid-90s?
No, it's
Like early
late
90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
It came out like 10 years prior. But then
Imagine if there was a line in a movie today that was like, oh boy, I just feel just like that alien from Avatar. Like, it feels like you can't make references that close
I'm a
together
real
anymore.
Navi.
Man,
But then she says, I feel like Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman, apart from the hooker part, which first, Andrew Hastings fans, whorephobic. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I did it. But then, like,
Yeah, I did it too, brother.
Yeah. Did we get that on mic? We just high-fived.
No,
Yeah, cool.
it would have come.
So, like, yeah, she's like shitting all over prostitutes, but then, or whatever you call them,
People.
what do you call them?
Sex workers is the nomenclature.
Yeah, paid feminists that have sex for money with cis het scum is the official job title.
Hookers, I believe you call them for short.
I call them bloody pros. But
I call them family. I don't know what the fuck that means.
you call them on the number they provide on the website.
that's not how you're supposed to treat family.
Don't fucking do my... I'm so sick of you doing my jokes on the pod. I'm so sick of it.
He's trying to get you to write some new shit. Maybe
I'm
stop
trying
being
to
so
write some new
complacent.
shit.
Yeah,
Dude.
she says that. So that's what she's like, basically denigrating herself, being like, oh, I feel like the fucking person that makes no money who's finally had the fairy tale, and then they kiss, and then they start dating, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. streaks at graduation. He's a hero. You never see him make up with Paul Walker. All you hear is Freddie Prinze Jr. being like, yeah, I fucking honor a bet, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It makes zero sense.
No, of course. It's not a well-structured movie. Can I talk about... So you mentioned before the hacky sack scene. So they go and see some sweet
Oh,
performance.
yeah, that's in my notes. You guys ever sack, bros?
No, I never...
I've never sacked.
I have no foot-eye coordination.
I had
whatsoever.
one. That became a real craze at my high school for a one hot minute.
I was
Jamie, because you played soccer, right? Like, you know how to hack a sack.
I can hack a sack, but like I don't hack a sack.
I can't hack a sack, and that's why I'm getting rid of it.
You can't
Oh,
hack a
man.
sack.
I can't hack it.
You can't hack a sack. Get into the kitchen. Become a woman.
By the way, you know
Yes.
how the other day...
Do you know, ironically, like I probably will actually be in the kitchen more when I like genuinely start.
Why? Because you
transitioning
won't have
more.
any fucking money?
Well, that and like
$100,000 later. It's a lot of macaroni and cheese for Rose Piper and a beautiful new pussy.
Do you put the bowl of mac and cheese next to your pussy? Like, it was all worth it, dude.
It's like those supermarket ads that come on and like, ba-na-na-na, and they talk about how cheap hand soap is or some shit.
like brand power.
Yeah.
Trans
You know what
power.
you're saving for
Trans
your
power.
new pussy.
Helping you chop better. Just Kraft mac and cheese goes well with a fancy new puss.
Hey, by the time this comes out, we'll have chopped my penis off live on
Live
stage at
Live on
Powerbomb.
stage. Who's got the biggest donation so far? Who's doing the final
Who's
chopperoo?
winning? One of my best mates, Michael Rodden.
I don't know who the fuck that is, but...
Feels kind of sexist to have a guy called Rodden chop off your dick.
Yeah. Feels like you should get a guy called Andrew
Andrew
Hastings to chop off your
Well,
dick.
number two is Alex White.
I saw that he donated a lot, and I feel like...
You should donate something. No,
I
you
don't-
have.
I don't know. Well, I was like, it was shit, because I put in like...
I'm going to say I
You were one of the
anonymously
first
donated.
people to
Full
donate.
disclosure, I chucked in $20, okay? And I did it, and I was like, all right, I'm feeling, that's my nice deed for the day. Feeling pretty good about myself.
then Alex drops $2.50.
No, but then because I'm a spiteful cunt, I went back and checked to see who else I donated because I'm a piece of shit. And I was like, oh, fuck, Alex did more. He earns more money than
I
me.
Yeah, he
donated.
earns quite a bit more money.
I
than you,
donated
think.
anonymously, which is my way of saying that I have not yet donated. But if you check,
all the
maybe
names
it's
come
me.
up.
I messaged a friend before I donated because I wasn't sure if I should donate anonymously or not.
I was gonna
And
donate-
then they were like, it's $20. Who gives a fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you,
Someone-
you egomaniac?
Someone blew up my spot because I was gonna donate anonymously $69, and someone's already done
That was my mate Ryan.
Oh,
I
He
was
said he
just
was
hung-
actually going to donate $69.69, but they don't let you do it in decimal amounts.
They'll let me do it.
yeah.
I just feel like if you guys listen to
I'm gonna ring them up.
WJYT, I can't think of the rest.
Oh no!
Anyway, so the hacky sack scene.
Yeah.
They go to that sweet performance art stuff.
Man, that trans power riff was real good.
I've mentioned, yeah, I was pretty happy with it. Trans power, it's funny. I used to be a big art nerd. I used to be right in that little
That does
shitty
not
scene.
surprise me.
I was like art was like my best subject at school. Like I was a big little art nerd. It was great. And I saw shit like that all the time. Pretty accurate representation of how it goes down. Pretty spot on. Usually there's something happening and there's usually not so many midgets, but it's pretty
They're
dense,
actually called-
boring shit.
they're actually
And you
They're
go,
called, they're called little people.
Yeah.
yeah, all right. I mean, if they don't, have money for sex, I don't really care what I'm supposed to call them. Have money for sex? I don't know, man.
Have bus fare for sex.
Yeah, and it's also true to life in how Freddie Prinze Jr. pretended to be interested in art for the sake of pussy.
Yeah, you've
very
obviously
true
done
to life.
Yeah, which is, I was going to ask this, it's in my notes. Have you guys ever been to a horrendous performance art thing to impress a woman?
No, I've been to a lot of horrendous performance art things to lie to myself to pretend that I'm cultured.
I mean, obviously, we go to horrendous performance
I was
art
gonna
things
say,
every
we-
day.
we-
That's what we do.
We've all brought women to terrible comedy
Oh
shows.
god, yeah, that's such a good
I went
point.
to-
Okay.
My very first
I've
girlfriend.
had to apologize for so many bad open micers.
Yeah.
I took Veronica just
Me.
my ex she came to I think 2 or 3 pretty bad ones quite willingly at the start and then just went
Man,
no,
don't
I'm
put
done.
Papagetti's down like that.
Oh,
dude.
all right, mate. Don't you fucking start on
But they
this.
will often be like, if she's thinking about coming to Powerbomb, she'll be like, "What's the lineup?" I'll send her the lineup, and she'll just be like, "Nah, not this week."
Name, name.
Name names, yes.
Uh,
No, don't say because it'll be me.
Yeah, yeah, it will. No,
I
it's-
remember-
She will not be there this week.
I went to a thing that my very first girlfriend, Alana, she's great. She at the end.
Not great enough,
towards, didn't quite reach for that brass ring.
Yeah.
hard enough. But we
brass
went to,
ring is actually what I call my asshole pre-butt cream.
we went to see one of her friends in a band, and they were called Say Cheese and Die.
Oh, that is
named
such a
after
bad.
the Goosebumps novel, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And then we went to
That's
this,
why I'm in a metalcore band called Choose Your Own Adventure 4. That's
that's why I'm in one called Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
oh man, I don't know if I can fucking tell this story on the pod.
Can I finish mine first?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no, mine's
hang
just
on,
weird.
hang on. No, hang on. You finish yours, and then we'll do a clear edit point.
Mine's just a quick one. I'm talking to a girl.
hang on. Go.
I'm talking to a girl from Bumble at the moment who's in a band called Snape, and every lyric is written from the perspective of Severus Snape. I listen to them; they're great. They're this cool post-punk, real dreary, dark shit. Fucking rules.
It really sounds like they're not great.
Yeah,
no,
that's-
it's
that
not
sounds
it's
so
not
lame.
wizard rock at all. It sounds like you wouldn't know that it's that. if you
Wizard
didn't.
Rock. Oh, these guys are Dumbledorian in their riffs.
Yeah,
Man,
no,
that's
it's not
that's
that
a
at all.
legitimate thing, like Tolkien metal.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a band
it's
in
not like
Sydney
that at
called
all.
the Bane of Isildur.
Yeah, it's not like that at all. It's it kind of sounds like
Sometimes you're glad to be out of touch.
it's like
Yeah, I gave up in 1997. Buffy's the peak of my cultural.
it's
Oh,
like,
dude, I just went to Splendor in the Grass. I'm so out of touch.
Yeah. You wouldn't know that the lyrics were from the perspective of Snape if you didn't know that, and it sounds kind of I guess
So he isn't oh, Harry.
No,
let
not
me
at all.
Teach you.
not at all. It's like this. It
Like-
kind of sounds like
like pan flutes.
it's like a
Mr. Mr. Potter, time to take
Nothing like
defense
that.
against
Hang on,
the
should we all
dark
do our
arts.
best Snape?
I can't do it at all.
Going somewhere, Potter. Was that all right?
Yeah.
That's not
Sick.
bad.
Going somewhere, Mr. Potter.
Going somewhere, Mr. McLean.
What
Got
about,
anything?
what
Is
about
that-
this? I was born in the darkness.
Why so serious?
Come, Venom.
No, anyway, it's kind of sounds like
Hang on, I'll do it. Come, Venom.
Oh, man, we got
What
to change the intro to the show.
come, Venom Snape is just like going somewhere, Mr. Potter.
Yeah, skip a step. It's just come Snape.
Oh,
Yeah.
come, Snape. Coming somewhere, Mr. Potter. My asshole.
Oh boy.
I'll
Anyway,
teach
it
you how
sounds
to
kinda
make
like
the
a,
love
like
potion.
a more modern, like kind of updated, like kind of like Joy Division, Cure. Yeah, the Antlers doesn't sound dissimilar to the Antlers, but without so much falsetto.
The Antlers is not post-punk.
No. But like,
it's
you know, it's
about-
kind of like that, like big textured. Like, I don't want to get into music with you.
But it's about
Chamber
Professor
pop.
Snape. It's all about Professor Snape.
It's all written from the perspective, but it doesn't use any character names. It doesn't like.
That project doesn't have legs.
Honestly, you guys should listen. They fucking rule.
But that's got a limited amount of like.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that girl has not replied to my last message, so we'll see where that goes.
well,
boy.
listen to Snape on SoundCloud, I
They're on
guess.
Spotify.
Okay.
Say you came from, we'll just tell your mother we ate it all. and don't forget to mention come Snape in the comments.
Yeah. Guys, if we can make this happen and get Hastings a route, we can make this happen, listener base. Please don't message the page.
I'm gonna start a campaign with our listeners to try and stop you getting roots.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's put a muzzle on Hastings' car. Do a GoFundMe.
man, what are you, bloody someone trying to get me to wear a condom?
Oh God.
Yes,
Well,
I
you
am
ju-
all
you,
your sexual partners.
you just had a story interrupted.
Yeah, I just went to this fucking band. They suck dick real bad, and I just remember being so satisfied on the car ride home, being like, "Your friend's band sure did suck, hey." And yeah, it's like such an asshole move to do, but
Yeah,
I just made her listen to like pop punk on the way home, and I was like, "See this?
this is
This
music.
is music."
I don't know, man. If it's not about Professor Snape, I don't really care for
Yo,
it
was
these
there
days.
any? Was
Well,
there,
that's how I drove solo from Sydney to Byron Bay to Splendour in the Grass, and that was how I got myself up there. Was for like maybe the first 6 hours of the trip or something like that. I just listened to every song Blink-182 I've ever done
Man,
on shuffle.
that sounds like a good day.
Yeah.
It was
I
great.
think me and Hastings privately were like, "This might be the coolest thing Rose has ever done."
It was great. It worked so well. I was in
Man.
such a good mood.
I've been into it.
Do you guys ever like Freddie Prinze Jr. is so fucking popular in this movie? Like
He's so skinny. Why is he so popular? He's so skinny.
Well, you think you have to be huge to be popular?
I think you got to have some like he's like abnormally.
No.
He looks like he's 7 foot tall. The
Yeah.
way the
and
movie's
he's got
shot.
a boyishly good-looking face.
I guess. I reckon Paul Walker's hotter. Got some shoulders.
Yeah, Paul Walker is hotter.
Bit more vascular.
In that, he's not you, if that's what you're getting at.
He's
But-
exactly like me. I'm the Paul Walker of this pod.
Yeah,
Living each riff.
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. You dead fuck.
I live life 1/4 of a riff at a time.
you live life at 1/4 inch of a time. The more Viagra's you pop. Like, it's like, I'm sorry.
Oh shit! I might have to top up my. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, what I was getting at was that Freddie Prinze Jr. Well, first thing, because you changed the subject, in that scene where Freddie Prinze Jr. and Paul Walker are having an argument in the locker room that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh man, it's like I'm not gay. I'm not. And I was
Okay,
just
man.
speaking really loud, but I just wanted them to fuck in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
They like got together and they're like, "What do you fucking gonna do about it?" Huh? And I was like, "Oh man, this would be such a more interesting movie."
Then
if
just
they
the close stare and then kiss.
yeah, like straight away, they just had like full on penetrative.
that would have
anal
made
sex.
the whole movie far more interesting.
Yeah.
If it had
He's
that
all
little
that.
nugget in there.
But,
Yeah, I'd be into that.
But did you guys have someone that was?
Did you guys ever fuck your best friend?
Did you ever-
You
guys
having
ever
an
fuck
argument?
your
Yeah,
best friend
my
after
girlfriend. She's
was-
not my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
No, we both made a point to be like we're not friends. I
Really?
hate that best friendship. We
I
made
do.
a point to be like we're a couple, we're not friends.
I do that riff with my wife all the time because she's one of the people that's like, my best friend is my mom, and I was like, that's sad as shit.
Yeah.
And then she's
I think
like,
your best friend being your wife is pretty sad.
yeah, well, she was like, you're my best friend, and I always go, you're a good friend of mine.
I don't think me and Yvette could be friends.
No, she's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I love her very
I
much.
love her. I love her very much. I love her very much.
This whole little chunk was very dark and gross.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, did you guys know anyone in high school that was Freddie Prinze Jr. level popular? Like everything he did turned to gold.
Andrew.
Oh man, it was going to work so much better. I was going to say Reese Piper because that's technically not me.
Have we told you about the bit we've been doing behind your back?
No.
Dave Henning.
The Dave Henning's been doing
That we
this
think is
great
very
bit
funny.
behind your back.
Hit me.
So this was, I think you weren't there, but it was at our tutor the other night. Henning came up to me and just real earnest in that like great Dave Henning bit way. Just
Drunk as shit.
Drunk as shit. Just comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, have you seen Reese?" and it took me a minute where I was just like, "No, she's not here, and we don't call her that anymore." And she goes, "No, I know, like her sister's been around, but like, I've been worrying about him."
He keeps saying Reese's hot sister, and he's like, I kind of want to fuck her, but I don't know what Reese would say about it.
The punchline of the bit is, "Don't tell Reese I've been fucking his sister."
Very good.
Guys, I've got something to tell you. Me and Dave been fucking.
Yeah, did you guys have a Freddie Prinze Jr. figure in your school?
Yeah, his name was Brendan Hartman.
Yeah. Was he a real piece of shit, or was he a good guy?
He was actually a pretty good guy.
Because, like, Freddie Prinze Jr., for all intents and purposes, is a very good guy in this movie. Like, he sticks up for Kieran Culkin, makes the Shermanator eat pubes at some point.
Yeah.
Which is very fun.
My best friend from school, Callum, was in love with Brendan Hartman.
Which one? 2 L's or 3 L's?
2 L's. It's 2 L's and 1 L. It's 3 L's cumulatively.
Speaking of the
2 L's.
Speaking of the pube eating thing, as a side note,
You guys ever eat pubes?
Accidentally, sure. I used to have braces.
oh god, no,
That's real. That's not even a fucking bit. It's not...
I know.
Kieran Culkin in this appears to have 2 hearing aids.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
I
that
think
about?
that's real, right?
I don't know. I was going to say,
That's
is that
good
something that just goes
representation.
totally unexplained, or does he actually have those?
He must have them because at no point is Kevin Pollak like, yeah, my son's a deaf cunt. That's me doing Kevin Pollak.
That's how I felt about Usher being black in this film. It's like, why not address it? Like,
Why not address it as a black guy going to high school?
Also, Usher hosted the dance thing.
hell yeah.
You get Usher dancing. What a
He's a very
criminal
good
waste
dancer.
of talent.
Oh,
He's like
man.
the
How-
best dancer
We
of all
got to talk
time.
about this fucking dance.
Yeah, that was the worst shit ever. You guys start. I got to piss. Man, we're taking a lot of breaks on this pod.
We're not taking any breaks. We're running straight through, baby.
Yeah, I want to be on record. The dance sucked. You guys keep going.
What do
Yeah,
you
like-
think about the dance, Rose?
It just, like, as soon as it started happening, that Josh Radnor line from Not Another Teen Movie, just, you'd never guess that everyone in this school is a professional dancer, just played in my head. It's so bad.
I don't even remember that. I just remember because earlier in the movie, there's the scene where Matthew Lillard dances. He does like
Which
that
part of that?
in the house party.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Matthew Lillard does like a full extended dance sequence. And I was reading about the movie before, and they were like, "Oh, the dance sequence is real funny and real great." And so when that happened, I was like, "Oh yeah, this scene is pretty funny. It's Matthew Lillard making a dick out of himself, like playing up his persona as a reality TV star douchebag." And I thought to myself, yeah, like as a dance scene, that's not too bad. And then this dance scene happened later in the movie, and everyone seems to be able to do choreography all of a sudden. And I wrote a note that my dork wife wrote over. And I wrote, this prom dance thing is so lame. And she crossed it out and wrote cool as shit. And I only just noticed that. And she's stupid for thinking that.
I do like that you did that, though, Amy.
Yeah, like it's great. It's very funny. Like it's a bit, but no, she said that her and her friends all thought that was one of the coolest parts of the movie, which I can't imagine being a teenage like.
How? But what, Amy is what, my age?
She's like 34. Nah, she's
Amy's my age, isn't she?
yeah, she is.
So she would have been like 9 or 10 when this came out.
I think she said that her friends all love this movie and they love the dance sequence.
Tell me about these friends.
Yeah, if you were like,
Yeah, I'll tell you. Tell me about Amy's sister.
if you were 9 or 10, you would think that was cool. I reckon.
Yeah. That was the lamest shit I've ever seen in my
I
life.
want to.
Oh yeah, like,
The
absolutely.
first time I saw it, I watched it with like this family friend thing. Who the sister, not the sister, the daughter of the family friend. I want to smash her so bad.
Hell yeah, my dude.
And I was like 13. And I was like, she's all that. Because she was kind of like a nerdy girl with glasses. So
Yeah,
I was like,
nice.
I could make this girl my project as me, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Man, I love...
But I think I was the project, really.
Yeah.
Like, people would
I'd
more look at
believe
me
that.
being like, this guy is eating a whole Domino's pizza to himself and talking about Final Fantasy.
I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, I loved glasses on a girl. Right into it. Right into it. I have no bit to follow that up with. Just
It's-
wanted you to let me know my earnest opinion.
It's kind of...
I will. I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought that when I've like fucking got facial feminization surgery and whatnot, I haven't like entertained the possibility of like aesthetic glasses.
I will rip the shit out of you if you do that.
You
Just
mean-
fucking gouge an eye out, dude. Like, just-
I was going to ask if you meant
Well, maybe the
sexual.
surgery will go wrong and that'll happen anyway.
the surgery where they cut your dick off will go to your eyes.
No, the facial one. I'm going to fucking Spain for it.
What
so-
if you get Daredevil senses afterwards?
Espana.
Oh, God.
Latina.
Oh, man. Yeah, you
Oh,
can
we've reached that part of the pod where it all just starts getting.
No,
real
no,
bad.
we're good. Got
No,
some
no.
steam. As an exposition
Got some
move,
stank?
the DJ who's
Yeah, is that what
announcing
you
what's
said?
happening in everyone's dating life over the entire fucking school as an exposition tool
That seems to be
is
a thing.
outrageous, and I love it.
But that seems to be a thing in America that like
Actually
a
quite
student
like
is like the announcer. I like it.
We should get that for
Also,
open
it's
mic
Usher.
comedy.
Usher rules.
Usher does rule. What's your favorite Usher song?
Also,
Climax,
Oh, yeah.
which
Oh,
is
I
also
like
my
Confession.
favorite thing to do.
Yeah, right. In your sleep.
Yeah.
Can we go back to you having a wet dream for a second? So was it because you didn't beat off while you were at Splendor?
Like maybe I was pretty horny looking at all the
Oh,
unbelievably beautiful
boy.
women there. No, but I think it had also probably been like I don't know, like probably like 2 weeks since I had.
What the fuck is wrong with 2 weeks?
you haven't busted for 2 weeks?
I've been busy.
No one's that busy.
You're never too busy to bust.
Man, I've been too busy to bust for like one day. Like,
Yeah. I've
I'm
been
too busy. I get home, I leave, I come home, and then I'm just tired and go to sleep.
Nah, man.
And then I come in
Man,
my bed.
I drink and I bust. That's what I do.
Hell yeah, my brother.
Did you guys know that apparently M. Night Shyamalan like heavily
Yeah, I
rewrote
read
the
that.
script?
And then years later claimed that he ghost wrote the film.
Yeah, Ghost wrote the whole thing, and then the studio came out and kind of did not deny it. They said he
But then
heavily contributed to
But
it.
then it like got deleted off Twitter or something like that.
Oh man, that's controversial.
Where was the twist ending?
Yeah.
Man, has M. Night Shyamalan made a good movie that isn't The Sixth Sense?
Apparently, yes.
I am an unashamed fan of Signs.
You're
I
a
love Signs.
Shalama fan?
I love Signs. I
Have you
think
guys-
Signs. Is,
I haven't seen
Signs.
Signs.
Is maybe the best movie.
Have you guys
I love
watched The
Signs.
Happening?
No,
It's so funny.
Not at all.
I've got. There's a
It's-
box set in there that
It's
has
Mark
the Sixth
Wahlberg
Sense, Signs,
playing
and
a
Unbreakable.
history teacher, just being like, "It's plants, it's plants."
I remember seeing The Village. Is that what it's called? That was fucking
Yeah, The
garbage.
Village is like- apparently that movie with James McAvoy is meant to be real good, where he plays like a schizophrenic and has a bunch of personalities, and then it was a low key like franchise entry to Unbreakable. It's the one that last came out.
Wouldn't it be funny if every M. Night Shyamalan movie had the same twist?
well,
So the
Vi-
characters didn't know, but it just keeps
Where
happening.
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
I was thinking that they're plants. Every time the answer's plants.
I have that box set with like.
Haley
It was
Joel
a
Osment
plant.
is-
A plant was the devil in the elevator with
Yeah.
them.
Haley Joel Osment is like, I see dead people, and
It's like
Bruce-
plants.
Bruce Willis is like, no, I'm a plant, you dumb motherfucker.
There's aliens. No, you idiot. It's just a weird looking plant flapping in the wind.
They don't hate water, they're allergic to plants.
They actually love water. They're plants.
Oh man.
You got to water them.
The phrase "a big Jimmy" gets
Hey, that
said
actually
in this
kind of
movie.
works. The water solves the problem. Water your plants.
Yeah, the
Should
phrase
water
"a big
plants.
Jimmy" gets said in this movie regarding the cocula. Pretty good, I reckon.
The cocula.
I was very surprised when RLC
Said fuck,
said
right?
fuck, a big
Yeah.
fuck. There was a couple of shit bombs as well.
Yeah, a couple of S bombs. Also, this movie kind of predated negging as a concept because Freddie
Well-
Prinze Jr. does a shit ton of it
Hold on.
when he's the master of negging.
Okay, negging the phrase, maybe negging the term, negging as like a cultural.
Negging the concept I was doing.
But like the idea of diminishing a woman's confidence to try fuck her has existed as long as fucking has. Like that's not a new idea. And we have an entire patriarchy based on lowering women's self-esteem.
And we
that I
have
assume is all for the sole goal of getting me puss. Like, I
yeah.
assume that's the...
You specifically.
me, specifically.
And us as a-
10,000 years of society.
Not only do we as a whole patriarchy have it, we as a Patreon have it. And if you donate $5, Hastings will say that dress doesn't fit your fat thighs.
But I'll, like, put my arm on your shoulder and be, like,
Yeah.
kind of sweet about it when I do.
It's cool because I like thicker chicks anyway.
I've accidentally negged so many women and I feel so bad
think
about
I've
it.
I've never understood how it works. It
Oh,
just
no,
seems
it
so,
works.
It just seems so
I don't
bizarre
think
to
I've
me.
ever negged a woman.
I've never done it on purpose.
I've definitely never done it intentionally.
I've, like, been spending time with a girl, had them sleep with me, and then afterwards been like, yeah, I only did that because I felt bad about myself because you're, like, an idiot who accidentally said the wrong thing.
I tried
not
this thing
negging,
called
that's
being nice.
straight
No,
up.
Hey,
but
you know
that's-
how
but
nice guys
it's the
finish
same
last? Do nice girls finish last too?
They do when I'm with them. Yeah.
Christ, this can never happen.
All right, can you put the microphone near four hands while they slap? Yes, that's good.
That was a
good.
bad connect.
Yeah.
It didn't
Oh.
sound
Alright,
good
let's
to
do it
my
again.
ears. Oh,
There we go.
Boom.
Bam. No. So yeah, no. It's negging because it has the same effect as where I've accidentally lowered their self-esteem, and then they've come to me to improve their self-esteem.
They've come to you.
It's kind of like how my dad lowered my self-esteem, and now I seek approval from
Your
guys
dad.
who remind me of my dad.
Ben Elwood.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Well, yeah, he's the
Yeah,
main-
absolutely
Yeah.
is.
He's the
I'm
main
pretty
and
sh-
only one.
I'm
I
pretty
tagged him as daddy on my Instagram.
yeah, I was about to
recently.
say.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know, man.
We'll bring that up when he comes on this show.
Let's talk about this, boys and girls.
Fine with it.
Here's my notes. It's overdone, but God Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer fucking rules
That
as a song.
rules.
Actually,
the New
while I
Found
was
Glory
wa-
cover sucks.
While I was watching it today, I was going to send in our little podcast group chat that cover.
I'm familiar with the cover.
It's so good.
Haley Williams is in the video.
I
It's so
literally
good.
cannot believe that we have never done Kiss Me at karaoke.
Yeah, we should. I'd be into it. It's
If-
a bit high.
No, we could do it, man.
We could just sing it badly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's what karaoke is.
we nailed Elena. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
to
It's
put on
singing
a
bad.
song and be like, I don't know, this is a little high for me, negates the concept of karaoke. Which
The
is
definition of
going to-
karaoke is white people singing badly and saying the N-word during rap songs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about
Much-
that.
Which
Kinda
ju-
like,
which just
kinda
quite-
like this podcast.
Yeah, Beck Charlwood and I just then were just like sitting in the crowd for
And
the
we were
end of
saying
Kendrick Lamar at Splendor and just watching a sea of white people say
That's
the
like
N-word.
famously the one where he's like, "Don't say it."
Yeah,
He's like
and
Kanye says it's cool.
so many people, like people directly behind us.
Yeah,
Kanye
that
knows what's up.
rules. Man. Have we've spoken about our love of karaoke on the pod, right?
Yeah, I
maybe
think
not.
so.
We
But-
love karaoke. That's the
But
whole
like,
story.
Kiss Me is a legitimately good song. Maybe overplayed,
No, it's a great song.
but
It is very funny how often it comes up
as
in these
teen
movies.
romance songs goes, I reckon there's 3 quintessential ones, and I reckon
Sway.
yeah, and not in order. It's Sway, Kiss Me, and Hands Down by Dashboard Confessional.
No. That
Yeah.
doesn't belong in there.
I didn't know that song until maybe like 4
I
years
reckon-
ago.
Listen to Hands Down by Dashboard Confessional and listen hard to the actual lyrics.
Oh my god.
The first time I heard that song, it was sung by my then girlfriend and her best friend's dads,
Oof.
sitting around a campfire.
Oof.
That's gonna be me when I'm.
They
a dad.
learned it. They learned it for their daughters.
Do you kids know how to jam? And they're just like, we just want to listen to DJ
Can't wait.
Scat
I
Cat.
can't wait till you have kids. I'm gonna be, an influence.
My kid is gonna be built in a lab to be the best open mic comedian, not ascending to the next level there at all.
Yeah. I think as Sydney's longest-serving open micer, I think I could maybe lend a hand there.
I think I'm gonna be. I reckon Amy's already bummed out if we have kids because she's a teacher by trade and she knows that she's gonna have to be the mean mum versus me, just being like, yeah, do whatever.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not having kids.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be awkward if I have kids in this recording. Anyway,
Hey,
are gonna
speaking
have
of that,
kids.
in 1 week from today, I'm having the $400 wank to store my potential future children.
man, $400.
Every wank I have is worth $400.
I heard that you're allowed to bring a partner, but you're just not allowed to have them involve like an orifice.
Are you saying you can bring someone a nut in their pussy?
No, that's
You're saying I can
opposite.
bring someone to jerk me off.
That's what I'm saying. You're not allowed to fuck him and then bust and pull into the.
It'd be
Look,
so-
I hear your request, and no.
It'd be
I just want to get some free porn.
It'd be so funny to bust in someone and then be like, "Here's the leftovers."
I think it's crazy the idea of like, if you were to have a child, when you bust into that cup, right, and you do eventually have a child in this scenario, like you will remember the porn you were beating off to
Yeah.
every time you look at that child. Because like one thing to be like, oh, I remember the time me and my wife made love.
It would be freaky to be like, "Oh man, I had a child to stepmom seduces."
Yeah.
like that'd be crazy.
Why is that such a popular genre of
It's
porn?
huge.
It's huge. It's like I have to like wade through the incest stuff when I'm trying to watch some sweet pornos.
I hate to fucking bring back bits we've already done, but man, I had a good.
It's called like recurring bits.
God,
Oh, should we make porn Hastings' watch this week?
No,
It's
no.
so-
I was just chuckling.
Hashtag in straight out of Compton.
I'm
bringing it back.
I was
Come
chuckling.
better.
I was chuckling to myself at Charlie Chan's while I was waiting for Bensley to show up, and I just was like, "Fuck, I love a good porno." That's real
Fuck,
funny,
I love
man.
a good porno. Man, oh, seriously, this actually might be relevant. Remember we had a debate on the pod several weeks ago in podcast time, longer in real life time, about whether or not your dick gets smaller once you start the hormones?
Yeah.
And you were saying the dick doesn't get smaller. Man, so I paid for pornography this in the last week, and I bought some...
Why?
Look, sometimes you get a bit of a Twitter crush on someone, and yeah,
Oh god.
it was like $15.
Who was it? Louis
so
Spears.
It's not that much. I mean, considering it was...
Death
Oh,
threats
the-
don't scare
I'm,
me.
I'm beefing with him.
Yeah,
Let's talk
let's
about
talk about that. I'll finish my porn story and
Yeah.
then. Anyway, I purchased some pornography from a woman.
How hard is it?
Not very, which is maybe why it wasn't worth the $14. It's like it was just a series of still images, but I was like, no, I'll pay.
Well,
for
that's the worst
That's
way to
not
spend your money.
pornography.
Oh, I've paid way more for not much.
Oh god.
But it's like it's because it's about the person. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's this like it's a trans woman, and I was like, yeah, I'll check out.
I'm gonna guess Bailey J.
No, they're not a porn person.
Oh right.
They like dabble.
Rose Piper.
If you get it, I'll tell you.
Twitter crush.
They're a Twitter person who dabbles in a lot of stuff, but they also sell like.
Is
nudes.
it that open mic comedian person,
They're not.
Avery?
They're
No.
not someone we.
No, it's Avery someone.
Yeah, Avery
She's
Edison.
A comedian.
Look,
Avery
who's to say it?
yeah, I knew it was a. I'll
Yeah,
follow
she's
her.
hot.
I'll follow her.
I'm real into it. Anyway, so I was viewing some of her pornography, and she has a tiny dick. What the fuck are you talking about? Way smaller than any dick I've ever seen on a
But
man.
maybe she just had a small dick.
That can't be true every time. The correlation is crazy. Like
But have you seen
What,
like
that-
all the
wait,
trans
I've seen
porn
the
stars
trans-
with like giant dicks?
totally, but I think that they're the exception. You're so cut that your dick's gonna get smaller, aren't you? You're so cut about it.
No.
Can't you just have a giant clit?
But I am like, if it happens instantaneously, I'm angry about it because I'm talking with people about merchandising this motherfucker.
You got to do the mold before. You got to at least get the mold.
Yeah,
before
if you're
you-
having the $400 wank this weekend, it makes sense to have the fucking $200 mold.
Yeah, you don't have to put the production in process now. You just got to get the mold because you don't know what's gonna fucking happen. Dude.
We can just do it here live on the podcast. Cover your dick in mud or something. Then
No, I'm like
put our
meeting-
lighters
I'm-
on it. Make it.
I'm like
hard.
meeting a friend in the week who's like trying to organize this for me.
Good. I hope it happens.
Shouts out Katie J.
All right. Anyway, you should buy her nudes. They're real good. Probably not worth $14, but you know, whatever. She's pretty hot.
Yo, you bros like the beach?
Not really.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
fucking love the beach.
See,
Beach
when,
rules.
when Kieran Colkin was like, "Do you want to play Sega?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'd play Sega over going to goddamn beach."
No, the beach is sick. The beach rules, going for a bushwalk rules.
Nah, that's lame shit. I like drinking and being cool.
Do you know where you can drink? On the fucking beach, motherfucker.
You
No,
actually
you
legally
can't.
can't, but you can.
Yeah, but,
you
like-
can.
No,
Who-
I hate breaking rules.
Have you ever
That
seen a
was it.
cop on the beach? Well, it's
I once-
aside from maybe the Cronulla riot.
once-
Cups on the beach.
I won't smoke upstairs at Tudor because you're technically not allowed to smoke.
You
there.
are. God, I can't
I
believe.
hate breaking rules.
Such a fucking.
It's what makes me the original good boy.
I don't
The
like
original
breaking
good
rules.
boy, the good
I
boy
did
is
that
the
once. Have you ever been in like the? We obviously have been in the Foresters, and in like the bottom level of it, if you like walk in, the bit to the left used to be outdoors,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah,
in there with
yeah.
friends once.
I used
so-
to smoke there all the time.
Yeah, and I just lit a dart up, and then I've probably got like at least like 3 pubs in or whatever, and my friend's gone, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I was having a dart." And he's like, "It's indoors." And I looked up, and there's like they'd put a roof on and like a wall up and everything, and I just started smoking
Yeah,
That's pretty
indoors.
funny. That's quite funny.
It's the saddest thing for smokers when that starts happening.
Yeah.
But I was just like, "Oh fuck!"
I'm
Like,
so glad I only kind of smoke now. I have more updates on me watching on the new porn I've been getting into if people want to hear that.
Yeah, tell us about your porno.
Yeah, so like I've been like kind of investigating trans porn lately just because, whatever.
You're woke.
Yeah, I'm woke. I'm so woke that I want to fuck chicks with dicks.
it's because you want to feel closer to me.
Oh my God. It's actually...
Someone's angling for Mortal Kombat 3.
It's actually like a battle I have when I'm doing it. I'll be like, don't just forget the Rose while you're doing it.
Yes.
As
In
the
the
trans
brain.
person, I'm closest. I would rather not. I would like to separate these things in my mind.
Remember me.
I was watching this. I was watching. I was watching.
Oh,
I was
I'm so
watching-
happy about this.
I was watching some trans porn.
Now he's not only going to think of me, but he's going to think of
Angry.
you singing that.
Oh God!
Keep going.
You've really shut down an entire portion of my sexuality for me. Entire segment. So I was watching some porn, trying not to think of my friend Rose Piper. Trying not to remember when your name was Reese, and we used to do nude runs together. Don't I? So I was doing that. And it was pretty good. I was pretty into it. And
Who are your girls, man?
I don't know. I don't know her name, but she's very attractive. And it was like it was a video of her masturbating, right? And I was watching it. I was like, I wonder, because I'm trying to figure out what about it I like. I'm trying to figure out like what, because it's like new to me. So I'm like, oh, is it like, does it have to be with another person?
It's because you're attracted to both of the women, but you enjoy the placement of yourself in the penetrative part of it.
That's the argument I've heard. Right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was like, well, if it's a woman masturbating who has a penis, does that still do it for me? Because like, anyway, it turns out it does. Because it's like the way
Jamie's looking very confronted right now.
the way it was explained to me is like, if it's a penis, then it's easy to feel like empathy for sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
Because it's like something that I don't have a vagina. I don't know what that's like. Anyway, so I was looking, I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. And I was like, kind of like, not proud is the wrong word.
You were proud.
I was a little bit proud.
You were proud so you could brag to people on Tinder that you jack
how-
off to trans porn.
Yeah, just really like real, what's the word? Like tokenistically and like real, like, be like, yeah, I'm a good boy because I exploit them for my, anyway. So
Well, you love being tokenistic. Ask anyone.
yeah.
Ask a select few people in the industry.
Yeah. Anyway, I was watching.
Love
Just quietly, how
loves
bad is this
token
bloke
stuff.
at drinking beers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's-
know. I just hate it when they get warm and gross. Speaking of warm and
Oh,
gross, I'm watching this.
Put that in a glass. I'll fucking drink
Yeah,
it.
just okay, drink it.
Yeah, I'm going to drink that.
Gross. So anyway, I'm watching this woman
Andy
masturbate.
chips.
I'm watching this woman masturbate with her penis, and like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty
regretting
into
this.
So
it.
she's giving herself like an HJ.
Yeah, just like same as
Like
you
the
or I
way
would,
I would check off.
James.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's jerking off, and like it's good, and then I ejaculate, and then in the
There is a performative aspect to this.
let me tell my fucking story, okay? Then
There is.
You look so angry.
Like you're doing this to seem what?
who to who? Who would possibly be impressed by this?
The-
All
No
right,
one's
as mu-
going to be like,
as
I
much-
wasn't going to fuck Hastings, but I found out he jacks off to chicks with dicks. Now I'm going to fuck him. There's
Well,
no
I
way
know you. You tell everyone.
As much as I like enjoy cutting Andy Butt Cream Hastings off, I reckon we hear the end of the story and then we'll figure out how
It's either
How to
performative.
destroy him.
It's either performative or it's transphobic. There's no way this story ends well. Right?
All right, exactly.
And I don't know which one it is.
So we got to figure out how to take him
Yeah,
down.
there's no way this is good. Okay, so I come, and then she comes in the
Is
video.
that what you say at the end of sex? I come.
I come. I come.
Who come? It me.
That's funny.
That's the least sexy thing you could ever say.
I come at me.
It me. I bust.
So I bust. So it me, and then
I trained.
Then it
Is
hurt.
that funny?
Yeah, you got me. That's good.
This is Charles Beckwood all over again.
So
Hit me. I drive an IROC.
I bust, then she bust, and I'm all fine with it. But like, okay, then she does this thing where like, and it may have been like a combination of the post-orgasm come down that I was in, or it may have been like that this was just an aspect of it that I had not considered. But then she like eats her own cum. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. I can't handle this at all. This is way too much. That's like a line too far. Because then it was like, then in my head, I'm like, oh, like then that's like if I'm eating my cum. Or like, that's like, then, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you're reading too into it. I think
I actually-
eating your own cum is just not for, I'm going to say, most people.
Yeah, I actually agree with Rose
No,
here.
but
I don't think it's a trans porn thing. Like, have you ever seen like those real gross videos, like where like it's?
But I like it when girls eat cum that's not theirs.
Oh, really? Because like
I love that.
I've
I'm
seen,
right
like,
into it.
I've seen ones.
If
where-
it's something about eating your own cum feels weird.
I've seen some like pretty hot pornos where like a girl is.
Would you say you love
I
a
love
good
a
porno?
bloody good porno, but like you've seen ones where like at the end like a dude like jizzes onto like a glass table or a glass bowl and the girl slips. That always makes me feel sick. Like I don't like that.
Yeah,
I know
me-
you like
me
it.
too. Yeah, no, I'm
like
pretty into it.
but I think her eating her own cum isn't a trans thing
Well,
or
because I like if it's a girl eating
a performative thing.
Because I'm sure you would be grossed out if it was a dude eating
Well,
his own
also
cum.
you've already
Yeah.
also like you've
but that's
al-
because I'm not attracted to men.
but also you've already
No, but the act of eating the cum
But,
that
okay,
has
so
come from that person.
When girls like do like the finger in their own mouth thing, cool with that. When girls eat guys cum, cool with that. It's something about a woman eating her own dick cum that I was like, ooh, that's not for me. That was like, it's a weird, you know, I felt very conflicted
That
about
does
it.
so,
sound
yeah, so
transphobic
you're a
now,
transphobe,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like maybe. I don't know. Like it's maybe
Yeah,
something I
this
did-
sounds less performative and more transphobic.
yeah.
It's like a very specific thing.
When
where
I
was
watch
like, that's not an element
when
that
I
I'd
watch
considered.
a trans woman come and eat it, I go, ooh, yum 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 yum. That's what I do.
Just quietly, my mum has texted me during this, and something about that feels real gross.
Tell her I said, what's up?
She said, does Andy eat his own cum?
Look, man, sometimes you just got to explore yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Man, we got to wrap this bad boy up. We've been recording for almost an hour and a half.
Oh, baby.
Does anyone have any
This is like the
final-
longest one ever.
No, not even close. I think we did like way longer with Charles Beckwood and Cameron James.
For real.
Does anyone have any final thoughts on anything? Do we have any notes we want to read?
Oh,
I didn't write any notes down, but there was one thing. Is like,
Oh, by the way, this movie, the movie, The High School, it is Buffy's high school. It was filmed at Buffy's high school. I just wanted to let you know that I
cool,
did not.
man.
For all my Buff heads, I did not miss that.
there you go. I had like the sound mix. I thought was very bizarre in this movie, and especially what was her name, Taylor, or something like Freddie FPJ's ex.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything sounded like she was miming along.
She also seems like she's from something and is real hard.
She's
but
probably worked.
I Wikipedia'd her,
in
and
other
she's not
things.
from anything I really knew. I swear she was on something else on the podcast, but
I'm gonna look at it
My
while
thing is that,
you
like,
give
I
your
saw-
she was on
final
the
thoughts.
Vampire
So-
Diaries.
So back to the start. What did you say this film was based on?
Pygmalion.
So that's a play?
Yeah.
And also My Fair Lady, did you say?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I was watching it, I thought I couldn't help but notice the similarities between
Not another teen
this
movie.
and- yeah, this and 10 Things I Hate About You, because like the main plot mechanic is that it's a man being like with a fake motive to seduce someone who's beneath his station,
The
right?
Andrew
but
Hastings
that's
story.
oh god, no, we're always above my station.
I punch up.
Oh god, yeah. No, I pity any woman who's ever been with me.
Me
but
too.
But 10 Things I Hate About You is based on Taming of the Shrew. I was wondering, is it like because that's like a core like archetype of story, it's like that's like a traditional story, or like what's the relationship there? But if you're saying it's based on My Fair Lady and this lame ass play, yeah, like so I guess that explains. So it's like I guess maybe that's like a common trope that comes up a lot is like men being motivated to seduce someone they don't want to and then accidentally falling in love with them. Is that like a common trope, or what's the
Yeah, it's called Life.
it's called marriage, bro.
I'm living. Things I hate about Shrew.
Yes,
Oh dear.
man, I shouldn't be allowed to talk about films seriously. I never have.
Every time we approach film criticism, I'm like, why can't we just get back to eating trans cum? Like,
I think I'd suck a dick.
do you?
Yeah, I think I would. If it was on like a hot chick, I would.
I just don't think
I've
I would.
sucked the dick of a hot chick and it was good.
Yeah.
I have
Makes sense that you'd be a little more okay with it than me.
Like
Yeah, I believe this.
I have no issue with it. I don't.
Yeah, all right.
I don't care.
Jamie is sweating profusely right now.
Would you-
I clench my fist.
If it was a trans woman you were attracted to, would you suck their dick? Or is the dick in of itself too much of a barrier for you? In this scenario, you're single.
Yeah, I just think not,
Just not for you.
yeah, it's just not.
So the dick is a barrier.
Would you say
I'd say it's,
it's
not
for you?
Oh, that is inside.
Yeah, I just
You
don't-
do. So you think that? So
Hey,
what
we're
if she
having
was
fun.
like? What if like Sarah Michelle Gellar
had a big dick.
in 1999 or whatever? If she had just a big old hog, would
Dog,
you?
if she had that shit now, you'd be
Dog,
into
if
it.
she had
Yeah, I'm making an idea. I'm like escalating.
dog,
to
if
the
she
end
has
of it.
that hog. No, I probably like if she was like, I have a dick. Man, it's just not for me.
Really, it's that much of a blocker for you. I mean, that's understandable. I wouldn't.
Well, it's
criticize
not
you
like
for that.
I wouldn't.
That's
like,
not unwoke of you or anything. I'm not going to like accuse you
Yeah.
of anything. But I'm just curious because
They're quite literally cock blocking you.
Yeah. I
Blocking you
I
with
could
a
suck
cock.
dick.
I'm just not that interested in sucking a wiener.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think if you asked anyone to suck
But
their
like to be
wiener,
fair,
they
I'm
would
not that
probably say
interested
no.
in eating pussy either.
I was about to say, would you eat the puss of a real hot guy?
I just want to get mine.
Well, this is part of this watching trans thing. I had this trans dude. Someone was like, check out this porn, see how that makes you feel.
Well, so as a guy,
It was like a really hot guy with a pussy, and I watched it and I was like, no, I'm straight. Like it was because I watched it and I was like, this guy is really hot, and then I was like, nope, the dick was not the issue with like it's.
The
you
genitals
just
ain't
have a
the-
day where
the
you're like,
thing.
Yeah,
how performative can I be? I'm just gonna watch every.
kind of, yeah.
Aspect of
Like,
trans
I was like, I want to see where this goes. I want to
Man,
figure this
Yvette
out.
must have been changing meds that day.
No, I just wanted to figure it out. But yeah, I watched this real hot dude, and like he was very attractive, and I'd probably kiss him, but like I wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't eat his puss.
You're absolutely right, Rose. Like what I've found from this little experiment is that genitals are less important to me than I thought they were.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd still rather a puss, like that rules, but like
I'd rather nothing.
So
Just a
basically, to any
Kendall?
lesbians out there,
That's like a
if
nice
you don't mind
cup of
sucking a
tea.
dick, I'm very single at the moment.
I mean I'm open, but I mean like I'm pretty down for whatever.
Is this podcast going to end with just everyone saying, I'd like to get my dick sucked?
Well, I can't. It's getting chopped off in 2 days.
2 days, everybody. Come to Powerbomb Comedy.
This will
Well, this will be out after that.
Rose is,
Hang on, I have.
I'm
plug-
sure the show went very well.
Rose-
I have plugs to get in
Rose
at the
is
end. Though,
bleeding
anyway.
out on the Powerbomb stage right now.
We didn't research into this properly.
We didn't buy enough gauze. We put up the cost towards 2-for-1s. Fuck, guys. Do some plugs. I don't know.
Well, because
Yeah, well, Rose should do them.
well, both my fundraisers are going to be over by this point. So
One went very well. You already know the result.
yeah, and hopefully the other one also goes well.
It's going to go way better.
But like
Yeah.
my fan page or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and I'll put the GoFundMe details up there.
Plug your GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's called Help Rose Piper Be Her True Self. Aww.
I would like to plug my Go Fuck Me. It's weatedall69@gmail.com.
Send nudes. Nudes.
Nudes.
Man,
Don't send nudes to the email. Just send them directly to me.
And send some
God.
money to my crowd raising thing. Go Sum Me. It's about listening to Sum 41's albums all chronologically.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
And you would need $10,000 to achieve it.
that was a fucking B- riff.
B minus.
Man,
Okay,
B-
what
minus
was
is
worse?
Still, that's better than She's All That.
Yeah, okay, what was the better
Oh,
riff?
yeah.
Go Fuck Me or Go... What was the one you said?
I hate to prop you up, but
Go
Go
Fuck
fuck me is better.
Nah, go Somni's better.
All right. What do I have to plug?
We're as always.
Shit to plug.
Yeah.
Check out my site, Instagram, x_WWEmo_X.
Yeah, to see a bunch of Go Somni sub riffs in there.
As always, come to Powerbomb, come to Waywards, come to Papagetti's.
UTS.
Come to Cactus
This is
Juice, you don't have to go to
apparently
Papagetti's.
You do have to go to Papagetti's.
Nah, it's doing alright by itself.
Go to
It's not. Sometimes it's hard to get people in the door.
See, I did an egg.
go to one time.
You're doing alright by yourself, pretty Papagetti's.
One time.
Maybe if you put on a nice skirt,
one
get some
time.
good eggs.
I
hooked
did.
One time I hooked up with this girl, and it was like kind of an ex, but not. It was a girl I was like kind of dating, but not really.
She talked about Papagetti's.
No, it was kind of an ex, but not really. It was one of those things. And there was one night, like a few months after it had stopped, where we hooked up, like sort of one last time. And a couple days later, she was like, "Yeah, you know, the only reason I fucked you that night is because you were bullying me all night. I had no idea I was doing that to her. So it works, is what I'm saying."
So the end of this episode is you're a pickup artist who likes negging. You're a transphobe.
Yeah. I'm a pickup artist without realizing it. I'm a transphobe because I don't want to watch women eat their own cum.
Man cum.
And you've got a red, raw, shitty butthole.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not
Haven't we learned a lot this episode?
Yeah, we really found out some stuff.
Hey,
All
she's
right.
all that.
All right, well, to the next step.
To the next step.
Usher is the greatest musician of our time.
Oh, that really fizzled
Yeah, that
a
was
bit,
a
I
bad
think.
one, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Wasn't that bad. Do you wanna do
was
it
real
again?
bad.
Yeah.
All right, to the next
Oh,
step.
we're going.
Yeah,
Take
no,
two.
no edit
Take-
point either.
Yeah, take two.
All
Okay,
right,
here we go.
to the next step.
To the next
Do you
step.
remember that dance we all learned? No,
Oh,
that was
God,
better.
no,
That
no,
was
that's
better,
bad.
I thought.
That's
All
bad,
right,
that's bad,
all right.
okay.
One more time.
Oh, fuck.
So
All right, give me that.
we've also learned that Andy's bad at improv. No, we already knew that from
All
previous
right,
episodes.
give me
All
one.
right, all right,
I got it.
okay.
I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
To the next step.
To the next step.
Those jeans make you look fat.
0 out of 3 ain't bad. guys. See you later.
There's a hole in mine.